Immortality Season 5 Episode 25. Fang Han found himself besieged by the Ghost Emperor and the immortal slaying Dao. He had believed his only option was a desperate escape, yet to his astonishment, someone insisted on offering up their golden core. What kind of divine maneuver was this? The Ghost Emperor raged, relentlessly pursuing Fang Han. Seeing his opponent about to enter the vicinity of the Savage God Temple, he sacrificed 60 years of his lifespan to unleash the great law of black and slaughter, intending to capture Fang Han in one fell swoop. Interpreting classic texts, pondering the fate of humanity. Hello everyone, I am Fang Han from the Guaman section. Welcome back to the original analysis video of Eternal Life. Picking up from last time, Fang Han was ambushed and robbed by the immortal slaying Dao. This time, his opponents had even invited a divine ability 10th layer expert, the Ghost Emperor of the heaven-defying fate-altering scripture. Venerable Gu Mang, a divine ability 9th layer expert, was directly scared away. As soon as they sensed something was amiss, Fang Han and Fairy Lian Yun immediately fled for their lives. Seeing this, the Ghost Emperor let out a cold snort, trying to leave. Am I to have no face? He then swiftly made a grabbing motion with his hand. Instantly, Fang Han was enveloped by a sheet of pale ghost flames, burning fiercely and obscuring the sky with their pallor. These ghost flames were not hot, rather, they were bone-chillingly cold. Yan explained to Fang Han, these are netherworld ghost flames, a great divine ability of chilling allure. Their power is immense, suppressing many fire-based divine abilities. Even Fairy Huiyun's 28 divine abilities were helpless against them, and instead gave him an opportunity to trap you. Fang Han had initially intended to counter fire with fire, using the Great Sunfire Calamity, but after Yan's reminder, he immediately switched to using the power of the King of Blood. He concentrated all his strength into a single strike, slashing towards the ghost flames. However, the pale netherworld ghost flames swirled, enveloping the King of Blood in return, causing it to sizzle and crackle, trapped within the flames. Then, as if a wall had suddenly collapsed, all the ghost flames crumbled down, completely engulfing Fang Han. Seeing Fang Han trapped, Xingyun Baobao shouted, "Xingchan." At the same time, he fiercely spun the Sun-Moon 5-star brazier. A vast expanse of starlight shone forth, instantly sweeping away a large portion of the netherworld ghost flames. The Sun-Moon 5-star brazier was a pure Yangdao artifact. In terms of destructive power, it was not as strong as the King of Blood, but it possessed a unique defensive function against demonic qi and ghost flames. A mere artifact, the Ghost Emperor scoffed from his soul throne. And a pure Yangdao artifact, trying to break through my netherworld ghost flames? That's a pipe dream. He suddenly opened his mouth, and more netherworld ghost flames spewed forth. Between heaven and earth, everything turned a ghastly white. This massive cluster of pale flames covered an area of 50 li in the sky. Within this range, the savage trees instantly withered and rotted. In the savage forest, numerous snakes, insects, rats, and ants, as well as tigers, leopards, jackals, and wolves, all perished. Their souls were absorbed into the netherworld ghost flames, adding to their power. Once these netherworld ghost flames enveloped an area, all living souls and spirits were extracted. This was a destructive, predatory, chillingly alluring flame. To cultivate this flame, one had to slaughter countless people, seize their startled souls, then infuse them with earth fiend qi and various demonic natures. Only then could the ghost flames reach grand completion. Witnessing the 50 li radius of netherworld ghost flames instantly obscure the radiance of the Sun-Moon 5-star brazier, Yen shouted, "Gate of Avichi, open for me. Absorb all netherworld ghost flames." Instantly, a supreme demonic Dao gate opened. Boundless demonic qi surged out, forming a vortex with a single sweep. All the netherworld ghost flames were swallowed within it, and the Avichi demonic qi grew increasingly potent. Wail. Wail. Countless sounds of agony emanated from within the Avichi demonic qi. Each sound represented a form of suffering, the myriad pains of the world ceaselessly echoing, converging into a sea of bitterness, boundlessly terrifying. In almost the blink of an eye, half of these netherworld ghost flames were devoured, all transported into the gate of Avichi, becoming the power source for its operation. All right, Yen remarked, in critical moments, it still falls to Yen to hold the fort. The gate of Avichi, impossible, the Ghost Emperor exclaimed. Wasn't the Yellow Springs diagram severely damaged? How could it have recovered to this extent, even able to open the gate of Avichi? The Ghost Emperor, seeing a portal suddenly emerge from within his ghost flames, instantly trembled all over. He rose from his sole throne in astonishment. As an elder of the Yellow Springs demonic sect, he deeply understood the might of the Gate of Avichi from his time under the Yellow Springs Great Emperor. If it could be fully opened and its power unleashed to its peak, it could devour everything, transforming the human realm into Avichi hell. Recalling how the Yellow Springs Great Emperor swept away all demons in the past, wielding the power of the Gate of Avichi, even now, the Ghost Emperor shivered from head to toe. Amidst his shock, the Ghost Emperor's speed naturally slowed down, buying Fang Han a sliver of an opportunity. Fang Han shot upwards, disappearing into the clouds, about to make his escape. Just then, the Ghost Emperor had only unleashed one divine ability, and Fang Han had already struggled to cope. If he were to unleash multiple divine abilities or manifest his heaven and earth Dharma idol, Fang Han would certainly be no match. Trying to leave? You underestimate us too much. Just as Fang Han plunged into the clouds, Daoist Siyue and Daoist Miexing, two golden core level assassins, suddenly appeared like specters from within two white clouds. Streams of chi shot out from above their heads, each carrying a golden core containing various divine abilities, emitting immense majesty. They almost froze a section of the void, blocking Fang Han's path. It turned out that these two assassin partners had already laid an ambush specifically to block Fang Han's escape. Fairy Lian Yun, who had flown off in another direction, had encountered no obstruction and had simply flown away. Clearly, the Ghost Emperor and the 40 great bandits were unwilling to offend the exalted immortal Linglong, and Fairy Lian Yun held no value to them. What they wanted to do was strike the rich, and Fang Han was a super-rich tyrant. The two experts did not unleash any divine abilities. Instead, they directly manifested their natal golden cores. For a golden core expert, their golden core was their most powerful asset, so potent that even a low-grade Dao artifact like the King of Blood could not break through it. Daoist Siyue and Daoist Miexing, having manifested their golden cores, had originally thought Fang Han was now a turtle in a jar, but who knew Fang Han would act without hesitation? Just then, the Ghost Emperor shouted, "Don't." Absolutely not. The Gate of Avichi specifically devours golden cores. If a golden core is tainted even slightly by Avichi demonic chi, it will be doomed forever. But it was clearly too late. They only heard Yen let out a cackling, strange laugh. From the center of the Gate of Avichi, two more streams of demonic chi surged forth. Within them were countless terrifying human faces, howling in agony, breaking through the suppression of the two golden cores. They instantly made contact with the two golden cores. Not good. Daoist Siyue and Daoist Miexing were greatly alarmed because they felt their natal golden cores subtly losing connection with them. This was something that had never happened since they began cultivating. Golden cores are indestructible. Golden cores are boundless. A golden core is the embodiment of various divine abilities, transformed into a seed of divine power. It can dispel evil demons and sweep away demonic chi. But now, it's being shaken by demonic chi. Fang Han said, "Man proposes, heaven disposes indeed. Since you insist on offering up your golden cores, then I shall reluctantly accept them." Daoist Siyue and Daoist Miexing naturally also sensed something was wrong. They fiercely channeled all their spiritual senses to connect with their golden cores, striving with all their might to retrieve them. Instantly, the two golden cores, which were about to be dragged into the Gate of Avichi, paused for a moment, hovering at the entrance. "Ghost Serpent Sword, go." At this very moment, the Ghost Emperor flicked his hand, and a long, serpent-like black light shot out. A black light slashed towards Fang Han's head, specifically his Tianmen, attempting to tie him down. That black light was his flying sword, called the Ghost Serpent Sword. It was also a supreme-grade treasure artifact, possessing immense power. Myriad ghosts soul-locking. At the same time, many strands of black chi emerged from the Ghost Emperor's body. Within the black chi, countless ghost heads spiritual chi clustered, exuding powerful ghostly chi. These small black chi banners shot towards the air in all directions, even penetrating underground. Immediately, above and below, the entire area was densely covered in a thick layer of ghostly mist, seemingly sealing off space and preventing Fang Han from escaping. This was an extremely formidable sealing divine ability, which, combined with magical treasures, formed the myriad ghosts soul-locking grand formation. Anyone trapped within it absolutely could not break out, unless they were an ancient giant of the longevity secret realm. The King of Blood. Fang Han felt an intense danger attacking from behind his head. The King of Blood immediately flew out and blocked the Ghost Serpent Sword. The two collided with a clang and an explosion, releasing black chi and bloody light that filled the sky. The Ghost Serpent Sword was, after all, a level lower and was directly repelled. At the critical juncture of the Ghost Emperor setting up the myriad ghosts soul-locking grand formation, he didn't even look at the Ghost Serpent Sword, and fiercely spat out a mouthful of essence blood. That Ghost Serpent Sword truly was like the ghost of a snake, suddenly flickering, dodging the King of Blood's edge, and continued to slash towards Fang Han, extremely supple and smooth. At this most crucial moment, the woman, Zuxian Dao, also moved. Naturally, she couldn't just watch as Miexing Dao and Siyue Dao's golden cores were lost. One must know, losing a golden core would not only cause all divine abilities to vanish and become powerless, but their strength would drastically plummet, their bodies would become extremely weak, and their lifespan greatly reduced. Lotus Juxian Dao spread her 5 fingers, and a lotus flower spun out, also cooperating with the Ghost Serpent Sword to attack Fang Han. Nebula Treasure Report saw that things were not good. He raised the Sun Moon 5-star turbid and held it aloft, and immediately, a curtain of starlight was propped up, enveloping Fang Han, himself, and even Miexing Dao and Siyue Dao, all within it. The two great bandits were interfered with by the endless power of the stars. Immediately, their minds became scattered once more, and their golden cores were again pulled and tugged by the abyssal gate, gradually about to be drawn into the gate. You reap what you sow. You too have lost your golden cores, but your origins are still there. I can take your bodies and refine them into Dharmaborn Saraira. Fang Han seized the opportunity. He rubbed his hands together, and the peerless great devil divine ability was unleashed, striking towards the two people's physical world manifestations. At this moment, the Ghost Emperor had already set up the grand formation, sealing off the surroundings. A stream of chi burst forth from his body, and the heavens and earth trembled because of it. A black-scaled, 3-headed, 6-armed figure with menacing fangs appeared as a world manifestation. It held a wolf-tooth sword, a serrated blade, and a skull staff, while its other 2 hands were clenched, leaving one hand free. That free ghost hand, as vast as mountains, fiercely crushed down. As soon as the Ghost Emperor's world manifestation appeared, the King of Blood immediately suffered heavy damage, emitting a long wail, and retreated. The Sun Moon 5-star turbid was also covered in a layer of ghostly chi, seeming to have been contaminated. Siyue Dao and Miexing Dao, who were enveloped in starlight, also recovered some physical strength. They hastily urged all their will to pull back their golden cores once more. Yin Wu Chang. If you cultivated divine abilities that weren't from my Yellow Spring sect and unleashed a heaven-earth strike, you might still save them. But your 9 Ghosts primordial spirit is simply unable to shake the abyssal gate. One day, when I recover my strength, I will take your 9 Ghosts primordial spirit and directly draw it into the abyssal hell, making you suffer endless torment for all eternity. You traitor! You saw the Yellow Spring's great emperor's restlessness, and instead of kneeling in submission, you actually dared to snatch. It seems 3,000 years have passed, the time is too long, and you've already forgotten my majesty. As the Yellow Spring's great emperor spoke, Black Chi emerged once more from within the Yellow Springs diagram, directly attacking the Ghost Emperor's world manifestation. So the Ghost Emperor's name was Yin Wuchang, and his world manifestation was called the Nine Ghosts' Primordial Spirit. The Ghost Emperor said, "Your power is too weak. The Yellow Springs Great Emperor is already dead. I will capture you and take you back, fiercely temper you by fire with netherworld ghost flames, making you wish you were dead, and finally make you submit to me." The Nine Ghosts' Primordial Spirit's 3 heads and 6 arms waved once more, and with just one grab, it seized the Black Chi. But that Black Chi actually burned onto his Nine Ghosts' Primordial Spirit. Shichichi, it was as if acid had been poured onto flesh, and pungent smoke actually emerged from the Nine Ghosts' Primordial Spirit's hand. The Abyssal Chi restrains all Yellow Springs' demonic sect divine abilities. Damn it. The Ghost Emperor abruptly withdrew his hand. The Nine Ghosts' Primordial Spirit dodged the Black Chi. At the same time, a surge of majestic ghostly chi expanded from his entire body and struggled free from the abyssal chi wrapped around him. Good opportunity. Seal. Seeing this, Fang Han fiercely unleashed a peerless divine ability, forming a subtle cycle that connected into a seal and directly struck Siyue Dao and Mieshing Dao. The 2 great bandits let out painful roars, exhausting their last bit of will as they fiercely tried to detonate their natal golden cores. Explode! Explode for me! The 2 let out their final roars in hysterical madness. Those 2 golden cores at the entrance of the abyssal gate were violently throbbing. Fine cracks appeared on their golden outer shells, and a powerful force seemed about to burst forth from within. "You have no chance." Fang Han muttered incantations. Shagadama Luyana. From within the abyssal gate, a gigantic ghost face immediately appeared and fiercely swallowed both golden cores in one gulp. At that moment, the 2 golden cores were like clay oxen entering the sea, falling into the endless abyssal hell, to be eternally lost. How could this be? How could this be? We've cultivated divine abilities for hundreds of years, only to end up like this. I'm not reconciled. Not reconciled. We shouldn't have let our golden cores fly out. The consciousness of Siyue Dao and Mieshing Dao, the 2 great experts whose golden cores were being attacked, seemed to have lost all their spiritual support. Their entire being slumped, completely losing all motivation. Their power plummeted, and their bodies actually fell from the sky. But Fang Han's 5 Emperor's Grand Seal then immediately froze them and threw them into the Yellow Springs diagram. The renowned 4 Seasons Great Bandits of the Sea, extremely vicious and evil, who had killed countless experts, were thus directly eliminated. However, these 2 people's corpses should not be underestimated. They were the remains of Golden Core experts, which could be refined into Dharma-born Saraira. Consuming them could increase one's magic power by the force of 10,000 galloping horses, practically equivalent to an ordinary heavenly human realm expert below the 5th layer of divine abilities. It could be said to be something they yearned for in their dreams. Although Fang Han didn't need them now, if they were taken to auction, they would probably fetch tens of millions in elixirs. Of course, he would definitely leave them for his trusted confidants within the sect to enhance their magic power. Haha, these 2 great experts actually still had treasure pouches on them. Fang Han swept his divine sense and discovered that both their clothes were high-grade treasure artifacts, and treasure pouches were still hanging from their waists. He was immediately overjoyed. Things like treasure pouches. It's refined from a rare void crystal stone found beyond the heavens. It has no defensive or offensive capabilities, but it can store a vast amount of items. Generally, only disciples of the Tai sect possess them because the Tai sect discovered a star in the outer reaches which contained abundant void crystal stone veins. They then occupied and mined it. Other sects do not enjoy such a privilege. However, these 100 treasures pouches can be found for auction in the market. Generally, any expert at the heaven-human realm would purchase one for ease of carrying. Moreover, they would carry their most important magical artifacts with them everywhere. Fang Han mused, 100 treasures pouch from a cultivator ranked among the top 3 or 4 of the 40 great Das. It must contain many good things. But there's no time to check them one by one. The most pressing matter is to escape. This Ghost Emperor is incredibly powerful. If I continue to fight, even escaping will be difficult. With a swift move, Fang Han gathered all his strength. The King of Blood condensed into a blade light, further enveloped by a layer of starlight. The two combined, tearing through, and shot outwards fiercely. But just as he shot into the sky, a black barrier of chi suddenly appeared with a rumble, blocking his path. Fang Han's soul trembled, and he instantly recognized this formation. Without hesitation, the Gate of Avichi was activated, and a vortex emerged, actually swallowing the black barrier of chi in one gulp. A large hole was torn open in the sky, and light shone through. Fang Han didn't hesitate. He darted through the large hole, instantly entering the white clouds. He then unleashed the sea god Chi art, transforming to become one with the white clouds, and shot towards the distance. His speed was incredibly fast. In the blink of an eye, he vanished into the cloud layers. The Ghost Emperor's face, which had been ashen white, turned livid. He hadn't expected that his 10,000 ghosts soul-locking grand formation would still be broken through by the Gate of Avichi, and even had one of his spirit banners swallowed. Furthermore, it had entangled his drunken ghost primordial spirit. The Yellow Springs Diagram. I will obtain you, Fang Han. You won't escape. The Ghost Emperor slammed his nether soul throne. He was utterly enraged. Transforming into a furious gale of Yin wind, he pursued directly. Taoist Zhuxian's expression was incredibly grim. He hadn't expected the Yellow Springs Diagram to be so powerful, it could even swallow golden cores. No wonder Emperor Huang Quan had shaken countless realms. However, this time, no matter what, I have to rescue Ciyue and Miaxing, otherwise, I wouldn't be able to explain myself to my elder brother. This time, he had accurately calculated Fang Han's weakness. The news of the Yellow Springs Diagram had stirred the Ghost Emperor, yet Fang Han still managed to escape. And at the same time, 2 Golden Core experts had actually been caught off guard. After some thought, he didn't pursue Fang Han. Instead, he transformed into a streak of sword chi and flew towards the overseas region. Meanwhile, Fang Han was still being hunted by the Ghost Emperor, desperately fleeing for his life. At this moment, he had already entered the savage jungle. The deeper he flew into the jungle, the taller and denser the trees became. Some trees were so thick that dozens of people linking arms couldn't encircle them. Even more, there were trees hundreds of feet tall, with lush branches and leaves that covered a vast area. The trees formed a dense, dark canopy, blocking out the sun. Within, thick vines intertwined, and countless demonic beasts, snakes, insects, rats, ants, and savage wild beasts lived, forming a unique world, utterly different from the outside. While using the wood shield art from the Azure Emperor with Sovereign Palace, Fang Han asked Yen, "This Ghost Emperor truly has a tenacious body. How can I not shake him off? What do you think would happen if we stopped and fought him? What would be the outcome?" Yen naturally disagreed with confronting him head-on right now. Unless absolutely necessary, we should run first. After all, he is a genuine expert of the 10th layer of divine abilities. Entering the savage jungle, Fang Han also felt a great sense of novelty. He saw countless strange and bizarre things, such as giant centipedes over a zhonglong, scuttling among withered branches and fallen leaves, ferocious and writhing. There were also flying rats with 4 wings that specialized in eating snakes, and fire scorpions the size of a human. Even more, there were spiders with human faces, the most venomous human-face spiders. And ants the size of a thumb, densely spread throughout the forest. Wherever they went, everything was gnawed down to a pile of white bones. There were also ants that specialized in sucking blood. Curling their bodies, they hopped between branches. As soon as they sensed a scent, they would leap onto an animal, entering its body and blood vessels to drain all its blood. Other creatures included iron-armored beasts, coxcomb snakes, peach blossom bees, black sand turtles, jade toads, and so on. Fierce and venomous creatures emerged endlessly. Various swamps, ponds, rivers, and mountain ravines all harbored endless dangers. Even experts of the divine ability secret realm venturing deep within, even with flying sword artifacts for protection, would likely find it hard to escape the poisonous clutches of some venomous creatures. However, Fang Han was different. His aura merged with the savage jungle, so no demonic beast would attack him. Along the way, Fang Han also saw hundreds of rare spirit herbs and the aura of many mineral veins, faintly buried deep underground, but no one had come to mine them. This savage jungle was a massive treasure trove. The Great Xian Empire hadn't come to develop it, likely because the savage demonic sect was hidden deep within the savage jungle, and there was also the mysterious ancient savage temple, with curses from primordial times. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Above the savage jungle, a powerful Yin wind swirled in the air. From within the Yin wind, a pitch-black giant hand occasionally reached out, grabbing fiercely at an area about an acre in size below. With a single grab, no matter how sturdy the trees or rocks, they all turned into a puff of black smoke and dust. Fang Han had just swept past a swamp silently. Several pitch-black venomous pythons darted about in the swampy mud, and some venomous insects lurked within. The pitch-black giant hand then descended. In an instant, all the mud and water in the swamp were evaporated. The venomous pythons and insects within, even the mud itself, all turned into black dust, rising with the wind. This demonic claw divine ability, grabbing everything, turned it all into ashes. Fang Han knew this was the Ghost Emperor detecting his aura and using his demonic hand to capture him from above. But the demonic hand's power was immense. It surpassed his imagination, Yen said. This is a supreme divine ability, called the Heaven-Shrouding Demonic Art. Emperor Huang Quan taught it to him back then. He has now cultivated it to great perfection. Moreover, he specifically cultivated a magical artifact for this demonic art, using countless nether souls, 7 types of demonic gold, 9 types of demonic blood, 18 types of demonic spirits, and 36 types of demonic qi, all condensed into a single palm, called the Heaven-Shrouding Demonic Hand. It is a peerless treasure artifact, just a hair's breadth away from transforming into a Dao artifact. The demonic art combined with the demonic hand possesses boundless power. My gate of Avichi, I'm afraid it still can't swallow his demonic hand for now. If we fight him now, it would result in our death and his severe injury, or our severe injury and his minor injury. You haven't cultivated to the return to Unity Realm yet. All your divine abilities are scattered. Their power isn't great. They can't pose a threat to him. Fang Han nodded. Since we can't defeat him, then we can only continue towards the area of the ancient savage temple. I believe the legends of mysterious curses there can make the Ghost Emperor wary. Only then will we have a chance to escape and safely follow the map to search for the 5-star spirit route. As Fang Han spoke, he saw the Sun Moon 5-star bracelet completely retract its radiance. The object was hanging on his wrist. At this moment, Nebulous Baby had completely entered the bracelet. Inside, he was curled up, hugging his head, sound asleep, like a tiny suckling pig, snoring incessantly. He had actually gone to sleep at such a critical juncture. The Sun Moon 5-star bracelet was a supreme Dao artifact, capable of forming its own spatial dimension within and also serving as a storage bracelet. Hiding inside to sleep was indeed the most comfortable and safest option. However, for Nebulous Baby to still be able to sleep while being hunted by a powerful expert, even Fang Han couldn't help but admire the baby's incredibly strong psychological fortitude. At the same time, at the very core of the ominous wind in the sky, were the Ghost Emperor and his nether soul throne. The Ghost Emperor sat upon the throne, his face ashen. A third eye, a tree eye, appeared on his brow. From its pupil, he could occasionally see a faint wisp of green light flashing through the boundless forest below, disappearing in an instant and proving extremely difficult to capture. Each time that faint green light appeared, a massive hand, burning with black demonic flames, would emerge behind him. This hand was utterly bizarre, possessing 9 fingers instead of 5, with webs of flesh between them, resembling a frog's claw. When this massive hand clawed downwards, the trees and rocks below would turn into black smoke and dust, yet each time, it failed to grasp that wisp of green light. Fang Han's Azure Emperor's Tomb Imperial Palace art, cultivated to the grand completion realm, allowed him to unleash the Wood Shield art. Even with the Ghost Emperor's Ghost Eye divine ability, he could only perceive a faint, indistinct aura. The nine-fingered hand he kept striking out with was the Ghost Emperor's magic treasure, the heaven-shrouding demonic hand. Combined with the peerless divine ability he cultivated, the heaven-shrouding demonic art, its power could even surpass a low-grade Dao artifact. It could be said that if even a king of blood were to be carelessly caught by it, they would only be captured. Damn it. Just as the Ghost Emperor was fuming with rage, the primeval forest ahead began to thin out, revealing magnificent ancient temples towering within the jungle. Fang Han was about to escape into the vicinity of these primeval divine temples. Sensing their aura, the Ghost Emperor in the sky muttered, "I absolutely cannot let him escape into the range of the primeval divine temples. Otherwise, it will be difficult for me to pursue him. The primeval divine temples are full of oddities and have always been a forbidden land for cultivators." He immediately rose from the Nether Soul throne, biting his tongue. Instantly, a mouthful of thick blood spurted out. Cultivators of demonic arts who spit blood to cast spells are basically unleashing a big move, and this mouthful of blood was indeed extraordinary. Merely floating in the air, one could hear the wails of a billion devils. In a blink of an eye, the blood transformed into rolling black clouds, spreading across an area of over 100 li in the sky. Then, with a crackling sound, torrential black rain poured down from the black clouds. This downpour of black rain fell like blades, its speed faster than splashing water. The first drop of black rainwater struck a large tree, which immediately emitted a pungent green smoke, withered instantly, and then its trunk slowly turned into black sludge, flowing in all directions. In an instant, the forest within 100 li radius was riddled with holes by the black rain, constantly transforming into black, viscous mud. For a moment, numerous black quagmires appeared within the 100 li forest. Because of the immense range of this attack, Fang Han was also enveloped within it. Struck by the black rain, he immediately revealed his true form, his Wood Shield actually broken. What kind of terrifying demonic art is this? Fang Han was caught off guard by the countless black raindrops. He felt that every drop of rain contained corrosive power, even capable of penetrating the protective light barrier of a magic treasure. Fortunately, he had the protection of the Sun-Moon 5-star bracelet. As soon as the black rain struck the starlight barrier, it was repelled. However, it was not annihilated by the starlight. Moreover, the force contained within the rain's impact was immense. Each raindrop had almost the impact force of a galloping white horse, causing the starlight barrier to shake incessantly. Fang Han, within it, felt the tremors. The stellar light of the Sun-Moon 5-star bracelet contained extremely powerful demonic nullifying energy. Ordinary projectiles striking the light barrier would almost instantly be vaporized, let alone demonic water. Yet, the Ghost Emperor's black rain was proving terrifying. A solemn voice then said, "This is the grand art of black rain. It consumes one's own lifespan and vital blood. Once unleashed, heaven will unleash black blood rain to destroy all things. It is incredibly powerful. However, each time it is cast, it consumes 60 years of lifespan. That fellow doesn't have much lifespan left, yet he still uses such a demonic art. He's practically courting death. But it also shows his absolute determination to kill us. This time, we are in danger. He absolutely must obtain the Imperial Authority diagram." Just as Fang Han was forced to reveal his form, these black raindrops suddenly rebounded with sentience into midair, transforming into a mass of black clouds. They coalesced once more, shrouding Fang Han's head and constantly churning, making it seem as if black rain could descend at any moment. Meanwhile, a demonic hand with 9 fingers, burning with black demonic flames and webs of flesh between its fingers, completely blocked Fang Han's path. "Now, let's see where you can run." The Ghost Emperor's Nether Soul throne immediately appeared not far from Fang Han. However, the Ghost Emperor's already pale face had now become even more ghastly. Fang Han instantly felt that the Ghost Emperor's entire aura was locked onto him, making escape impossible. In other words, Fang Han would have to fight a battle to the death this time. But the problem was, how could he possibly defeat the Ghost Emperor? What would be the outcome of this inevitable death battle? Tune in next time for the full story.